Hi guys, good morning. What are we gonna do today? Today we're gonna make this cheese board, and this is completely food safe, or you could use it for any foods or just a fun decoration to put a centerpiece in your table. We had done another video similar to this, but we've changed this one up. So stay tuned and let's get started. So what I'm using is this 2-foot piece of glass, and this was from some heavy cabinets, glass cabinets. I've tried to use it on picture frame glass, and it's a little thin, and if you're not careful, I've held pieces and they just crack in my hand because they get so hot. So if you're going to do it on glass or on dishes or anything, make sure it's a little heavier like this. And I have it on a wood board because I'm using my heating gun. So the first thing I'm going to do is use my embossing buddy, and it's just some sort of a sand or a powder in this, and it just keeps some of the static away. Products I'm using, I have on my favorite things list so you can see them. So we are heat embossing, and I decided I was going to try to do a different stamp for this one, and I use my Versamark. It's kind of a clear, sticky ink, and I'm just putting it on my stamp instead of regular colored ink. And because it's sticky, it helps a little bit. It doesn't slide quite as much on the glass. You do not want to smudge this, so just lay it down, and you want to make sure you get every little area so the embossing powder will stick to that. Anywhere you miss, the embossing powder will not stick. So what I'm going to do next, and I'm using extra fine. Okay, what I'm going to do next is stamp my small one on here very carefully. And I think I did pretty good on that. There might be a few little scraggly spots, and you want to be really careful, but whatever is left on here, even little dots, is going to heat emboss. So you want to try to carefully get some of those extra little pieces off. And if you hold it at an angle, you can kind of see. The embossing buddy really does help a lot with the static, so you don't get as many of these little flakes all over the place. But anywhere on your glass that it is, it will emboss and heat up. And actually, I think that looks pretty good. So what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna use my heat gun. On glass, I noticed, if you've ever done this before on paper, it usually heats up really quick and embosses. It takes a little longer because of the thickness of the glass. So let's just get started. I'm going to let this cool just for a sec, and then we're going to get started with painting. I am going to paint in these flowers. And I'm using it's a little thicker paint, but I just want the color to be into where the flowers are. So you're really just using your embossing lines as a guide, because you're not going to see any of this when you're done. Okay, it's probably going to look a little bit light on this side, but let's just take a look and see where we're at. Oh, actually, that looks kind of pretty, doesn't it? And then I'm just going to do a white background. So when your initial color is completely dry, you can go over it. I'm going to let this dry really quick. I'm going to do another coat on here. So you can see through it still a little, so I'm going to do another coat of white on the back, and then I'm going to clean all this paint off of the front. Okay, I'm just doing part of this board so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to turn it over now. So by the time I get completely done, I'm going to I'll clean the edges off, and when I have the whole board done, then I'm going to put a couple coats of sealer on the back. And you can really use any sealer. I'll probably just use a polyacrylic sealer on the back of it, just so the paint doesn't scrape off. As you can see, you can scrape it off pretty easily off of glass. And I really want it to stick. Let me just get some more of this off and then shine it up, and look how pretty that is. So when we do the whole board, or whatever designs you want to put on there, you can decide and what you're going to use it for. Okay, so I did one side. I am going to finish the other side, but I wanted just to get through this so that you could see the concept and exactly what I was doing. So it really, really is easy. You just want to remember, after you've got everything coated and dried, you really want to seal it. Another idea is maybe put some cork circles on the back on the corners so that the paint doesn't scrape and you don't scratch anything up. But I hope you try this out and have fun.